All right, stop. Couple more rounds here. And then eventually, we're gonna come all the way up. Take your hands down to your sides. Right now, we're gonna make our way all the way down. So try to do it without using your hands. Maybe you lift up off your hands and you come down like this. Maybe you're gonna cross your feet, lift your heels, let your knees bend as you come all the way down. Or maybe you're just gonna take down one knee at a time, right? Find your spot, bring yourself down to the mat. Right, now, we're gonna do our hook line scoops at first, right? So I'm here with my knees up to the sky, my feet on the ground. You're gonna take your arms out long, make fists here, pull your elbows to your ribs, right? Now, tuck your chin to your chest, look down at your belly, roll down halfway, keeping those elbows to the ribs, keeping your hands and fists like you're holding a newspaper in front of you, right? And you're just that halfway point. That's where we want to be, where you're feeling your core engage. Now we're gonna come back up. You're gonna push your belly to your thighs. As you come back up, lift your chin up off your chest, gonna look up at the horizon, and then do it again. Tuck your chin, come halfway down. So you're scooping up and down, right? Scoop. Let's do this about 8 more times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now push your belly all the way up here. Hug your arms, your forearms, really around your shins. Tuck your chin to your chest, or your forehead to your knees. Take that release here. All right, from here, we're gonna go all the way down. So you're gonna take your arms out long, tuck your chin to your chest, roll all the way down to your mat here. As we come down to our mat, now what you're gonna do from here, right, you're gonna lift your legs to floating table. So that means you've got your knees right over your hips, your calves are parallel to the ground. Right, now, from here, you can lift your head and shoulders, right, reach your fingertips forward like you're about to do the hundreds. You can also keep your head and shoulders down on the ground, right, make this a little gentler. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna do our heel taps. So I want you to keep your legs in this perfect L shape, right? You're not gonna drop your heel towards your glute, even when we move the leg, and you're not gonna extend your leg. You're gonna take your leg and just move at the hip till you drop that heel down, right? So your heel hits the ground, right? Your other leg is still in perfect floating table. Leg came down, is still in that L shape. You only moved at the hip. Now from here, pull that leg back up. Then go the other way. You're gonna drop that left leg down, or drop the other leg down. I'm doing the right leg right now, so we're gonna do a little tap, tap, pull it back up. Take your left leg, tap, tap, pull it back up. All right, so you're just alternating your legs. Again, if you lift your head and shoulders while you do this, it makes a little bit more. So if it's too easy, do that. Anything we do in Pilates, right? We want to find that place where it's challenging, right? But we can still do it. You don't want to do something that's so hard you can't do the movement, but you don't want it to be so easy that you're not getting anything out of it. So that's why we have all the variations. All right, so do a couple more here. Last 2. Tap, tap, pull it up. Tap, pull it up. Last 1. Tap, tap, pull it up. Tap, tap, pull it up. Now, let your head and shoulders come down here if you had lifted them up. Take your knees, hug them into your chest. And we're gonna do that again. At this time, we're gonna do it with both legs. So you're gonna release your legs, right? Bring them back to that perfect floating table. Now here, right, because we're gonna move our legs together. Maybe it's easier you bring them to a Pilates V, means your heels touch and your toes are going out to the sides, right? Maybe you keep them parallel. Turn a little bit more so you guys can see better. Okay. So here, I've got my heels to touch. Here, I keep my legs parallel, right? Again, you can lift your head and shoulders and reach your fingertips forward. You can keep your head and shoulders down on the mat, but your legs are at that perfect floating table. You're taking both legs down together. So you drop your heels to the ground, tap, tap, pull them up, drop them down, tap, tap, pull them up, right? So you're keeping your legs in that L shape. If it's too much, right, and you really feel like it's pulling your back up off the mat when you go down, don't go as far down. You can go halfway. You will tap, tap, pull it back up, halfway, tap, tap, pull it back up, right? So you have to listen to your body. Let it tell you what you need here so that you're getting something out of it, but it's not too hard. All right, let's do it 4 more times. Tap, tap, pull it up. Pull it up. Pull up, last one. Tap, tap, pull it up. All right, now take your knees, hug them all the way in to your chest. All right, we're gonna finish our warm-up, so to speak, here with our hundreds, right? So most of you know that. I'm gonna turn sideways again so you guys can see, right? This time, you're gonna bring your legs to a floating table. Now, maybe you just hold right here, right? And you stay in your floating table the whole time. We lift the head and shoulders, reach the fingertips forward, we pat, 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 pat to the count of 100, right? If you want to stay in floating table this whole time, do that, right? If you want to make it a little bit more, as we count to 5, you'll go between floating table and straight up to the sky, right? If you really feel like challenging yourself today, you go from straight up, start straight up to the sky, and you'll go to a 45-degree angle, right? Makes it a little bit more. Do that Pilates view, you can keep your legs separated. Now, you're lifting your head and shoulders. If it gets to be too much for you, right, as you're lifting your head and shoulders, you can let your head come back down. Right? But you gotta keep your shoulders and your fingertips elevated. That's what keeps our core engaged. Right, so you decide where you wanna be. I'm gonna go in the middle level from floating table to straight up, right? That doesn't mean you can't make it harder or easier on yourself. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Exhale, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Inhale, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Exhale, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Inhale, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Exhale, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Inhale, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Exhale, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Inhale, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Exhale, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Inhale, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. Exhale, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Inhale, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. Exhale, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. Inhale, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. Exhale, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Inhale, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. Exhale, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. All right, let everything relax back down here. All right, let your legs go all the way long here. Take your arms overhead. All right, so we're here, this lengthened position. We're gonna go into our roll-ups right here. Get our head, get our core burned out just a little bit more. Get the, I should say the core, right? Get the belly, the transverse abs burned out a little bit more. So, in the hardest version of the roll-up, right? You just peel your upper body up off the mat, keep your heels on the ground. That's important, right? You come all the way up, and then you make that C curve with your spine. You let yourself roll round all the way back down. Now, as I was doing those, right, you can see my heels move. They were going forward and back, but what they're not doing is coming up and down, right? If you have to come up like this, trying to get up, we don't want that, right? Then we're just using the arms and legs. So if you can't get up without your heels lifting, then take one leg up to the sky, take the other leg up to the sky, reach your hands up towards your feet, and roll up in that shape, right? So that's a dead bug roll up. You can do that, it makes it a little easier, right? If you can't get up in the dead bug, if you're here, and you're not getting all the way up, then what you're gonna do is spiral. That means you're gonna reach your hands over. Now your hands are gonna come to one side or the other. Drop your elbow, push up with your elbow, sweep around towards your feet, go down the same way, elbow, shoulder, all the way back down. You go up a second time, you'll switch sides, right? So you can do the straight up roll-ups, you can do the dead bug, you can do the spirals. All right, so let's do a few more here. We're gonna do a total of 10. Some of you have probably been going a while, right? I'm gonna do 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. 1. Now, I want you to come up to seated here, right? As we make it all the way up. Now we're gonna come back into hook line, right? So you're gonna bend your knees. You're on the ground. I'm gonna turn straight ahead here, maybe so you guys can see me. All right, so take your hands, glue your elbows to your sides, and make fists. A fist, a single fist with your hands. So you're gonna lace your fingers. You look like this, right? Now as we do this, you can take your heels or your toes off the mat, so you're just on your heels. Like this is how I'm gonna do it. If you need it to be harder, right, you can take your heels off the mat so you're in a boat, right? Or you can be here, you can keep your feet flat, probably the easiest thing to do, right? What we're gonna do, you're gonna keep your legs still wherever you are, whether you get your feet up off the mat, just your heels, or your whole foot flat on the mat. Keep your legs as still as you can. Keep your elbows glued to your sides. Twist yourself to the right, so your torso is going to the right. See how my elbows are still in at my sides, right? Now, I'm gonna take my hands, once I'm turned enough, punch my knuckles outside my right thigh, right? You're trying to get low enough down. You're trying to twist enough that your knuckles touch the floor, right? So then you come back in. So if you think your arms aren't long enough, it just means you need to twist more, right? But resist the urge to move your legs back and forth, right? It's not here, right? You gotta keep your legs nice and still, all right? So we're gonna go 10 times each way. 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, last one, 1, and 1. All right, hug those knees back in. Now let your feet come to the ground. Push your belly all the way to your thighs. Hug your knees in. Tuck your chin to your chest. Drive your forehead towards your knees. Let your low back release. Let those hip flexors release. All right, now we're gonna come around. We're gonna do a couple different series of things in tabletop, right? So tabletop is hands and knees pose. We're here, we've got our shoulders over the wrists. We've got the hips over the knees. All right, so what you're gonna do here first, you're gonna take your right leg, extend it long behind you, right? So your right leg's at about hip level. You've got that right knee, right hip, right elbow all pointed towards the ground. Now, take your left hand, reach it forward, right? So you're in this spinal balance, that's a yoga term. We call it bird dog in Pilates. But you've got your left palm facing the right side of the room, your left thumb up to the sky, you're pushing away from the mat with that right hand. So you're not using your right shoulder to hold you up, you're using your core. Now we're first just gonna take 3 crunches. That means you bend your left elbow, bend your right knee, touch them together under your chest, tuck your chin to your chest, watch them touch, open back up. All right, do that twice more. Crunch, open, crunch, and open. Now from here, we're gonna open all the way to awkward pose. So you're gonna swing your left hand out to the left, kick your right foot to the right. So you see how my right foot's out to the right, trying, not succeeding very well here at first, right, to keep the right shoulder right over the right wrist and the left hip right over the left knee. Hold it for one more breath. Should feel awkward. That's why it's called awkward pose. All right, now put your left hand down. Swing your right foot a little bit more forward. So you're going to drop your right foot to the mat outside so that your right heel is even with your left knee, right? That's one straight line there. So I come a little bit more forward here. All right, once you get there, you're going to push your hands away from the mat. We're coming up here into a gate pose. So just look like this. Lifting up high. Now from your gate, take your right hand, drop it to your right thigh. Reach that left hand up and over. So just opening everything up, getting used to being in this position. Now, take your hands back up, come back to gate. This time from your gate, drop down. You're going to take your left hand to the mat. Stack your left shoulder right on top of your left wrist. Your left hand is even with your left knee, right? So we go left wrist, left knee, right foot. All should be in one straight line right now. Your right shoulder stacks on top of your left at first. We look like this. So we're in a modified side plank. Right now, lift your right foot up off the mat. If you need to hold right here, this whole time that we do this, right, you're getting a lot out of it. If you know what I want you to do, swing that right foot forward, reach your right hand forward, touch your right toes with your right hand, as close as you can get, right? Bring that right leg back, take the hand back up. Now you're gonna bend into your right knee, bring your right heel towards your right glute, drop your right hand down, see if you can touch your right heel or your right toes with your right hand. If not, as close as you can get. Kick that leg out long, take it back up. So we go forward, we go out, we bend, we go back, right? So we're just going back and forth. Your leg goes straight, your leg bends, straight, swing forward, straight, bend, straight, swing forward. You guys got it? Do it 5 more times. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. 1. Now back out, drop that right foot back down, stack that right shoulder on top of the left, push away from the mat with your left hand, bring it all the way up, back into your gate, right? And then from here, just come down, drop your hands to the mat, step your right foot in, come to tabletop. Right now, we're gonna do that whole sequence on the other side. So this time, you're gonna take your left leg, extend it long behind you. I'm trying to sit up, so I've got my shoulders over my wrists, my hips over my knees. Extend that left leg long. You want your left toes pointed towards the ground, left hip to the ground, left knee to the ground. Take your right hand, reach it forward, right palm open towards the left side of the room, right thumb up to the sky. Take your 3 crunches at first, right? So you bend your right elbow, bend your left knee. Touch them together to your chest. Tuck your chin to your chest, watch them touch. Open back up. Do that twice more. Crunch in, open up. Crunch in, open up. One more time. Now from here we swing into awkward. So you take your right arm, reach out to the right. With your left foot, kick it to the left. Keep that left shoulder over the left wrist and the right hip over the right knee. Just hold for 2 breaths. Now drop your right hand down. Drop your left foot down. Try to get that left heel even with your right knee. Left toes point towards the front of your mat. All right, from here, we're gonna push up into gate. So you push your hands away from the mat. Bring it all the way up. Reach your hands up high. Now, take your left hand, drop it to your left thigh. Reach that right hand up and over. So we're just opening up here at first. Come back up. As you come back up, now you're going to drop your left hand down. Stack your right hand on top. Or sorry, drop your right hand down. Stack your left hand on top of the right. Right, so we got the right shoulder right over the right wrist even with the right knee, even with the left foot. Now you're going to lift your left foot up. So you're in this modified side plank. Right, if you just hold here the whole time, that's fine. If you can add the movement, we're gonna do the movement. You're gonna kick that left foot forward, reach your left hand, touch it, they're as close as you can get, take it back, bend into your left knee, swing your left hand back, touch your left heel. Back to your modified side plank, come forward, right? We're just going back and forth, back and forth. We kick, straighten, we bend, we straighten. Right? 5 more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, drop your foot down, come back up through gate, reach your hands up high, and then drop your hands down, step that left foot in, come back into tabletop. This time, as you get to tabletop, let your hips go back. Come into your child's pose just for a breath or two, right? Roll your wrists around. It's not about the arms, it's not about the wrists. When we do that, right, but they take some work on. So loosen them out. We're gonna do a couple more things here. Still using our arms a little bit. All right, now from here, we're gonna come back in tabletop. All right, this time, as you come into your tabletop, tuck your hands under, lift your hips up and back. So it's like you're coming into a down dog. It doesn't have to be a down dog like you do in yoga, right? It doesn't have to be all perfect. But you want to get those hips high. All right, what we're gonna do here, you're gonna drop both heels to the left, right? So your toes start to point to the right. You bend your knees point to the right, you drop your hips down. So in this little crouch, right? Once you're there, take your right hand, lift it up towards the sky. So your chest is opening towards the right side of the room. Drop that right hand down, push back into down dog. All right, then we go the other way. You drop your hips, drop your heels to the right, toes to the left, bend your knees, drop your hips are pointed right, your knees are pointed left. Take your left hand, reach it up to the sky. Drop that left hand down, come back through your down dog, all right? So we're gonna do that, we're gonna keep going with that. We're gonna start to move it a little bit faster, right? So you twist and crouch to the right, lift that right hand up, bring it back to down dog. Twist and crouch to the left, lift your left hand up, bring it back to down dog. So just keep going here, right? You can go a little bit faster than me, you can go a little bit slower than me. It's all good, right? But I want you to make sure you're dropping your hips, lifting that hand each time. All right, I'm gonna do, well, let's do it on the left. We're gonna do 3 more after this on each side. 3, 2, last one. 1, 1. Come back to down dog. Drop your knees. Shift back to child's pose. All right. So again, roll those wrists around. Later on, we're going to do another sequence where we start at tabletop and we really use those arms. But right now, we're going to switch it up. And we're going to come around onto our back. Right, and do some of our traditional Pilates exercises. Give those arms a break. And then later on, we'll come back. Another sequence from our tabletop using our arms. All right, so come down to your back when you're ready. All right, and then from here, we're gonna bring our legs to the floating table. These are the hips, cast parallel to the ground. Now we're gonna come into our knee pull-ins here. Right, most of you have seen these before, right? It's one of our traditional Pilates exercises, one of the Fab 5. You're gonna take your left leg and extend it long until your left heel's covering the mat. You're gonna pull your right knee in, right? So now you get to take it out of that L shape. Put your left hand to the inside of your right knee. Take your right hand to the outside of your right foot. You lift your head and shoulders, pull your knee towards your nose. So it's a little tug, tug. And then we switch. You take your right leg long, pull your left knee in, right hand goes to the inside of the left knee, left hand goes outside the left foot. You do that tug, tug. There's a little exhale as you do that tug, tug, breathing out through the mouth. So it sounds like a little sifter breath. Then as you inhale, you switch your legs. So it's tug, tug, switch, tug, tug, switch. So just keep going here, right? It doesn't matter if you forget where your hands go, like I just did, right? Maybe I bring my left hand to the inside, my right hand to the outside, right? It doesn't matter. We're just trying to keep the knees in line so we don't end up going like this and bicycling our legs around. Tug, tug, switch, tug, tug, switch. You're keeping your head and shoulders lifted. If it gets to be too much, you can let your head and shoulders come down, right? That's an option. All right, let's just do 3 more on each side. Tug, tug, switch, tug, tug, switch, switch. Switch, last one. Tug, tug, switch. Tug, tug, switch. Now bring your knees in, let your head and shoulders come down. Hug your knees into your chest. All right, we get the knees hugged into the chest. Now from here, we're gonna come into our Bami position, right? So that means we gotta rock up. So you're gonna come up. And in our Bami position, right, you hug your knees to your chest, just like we do when we're taking our release. But what we want to do here, right, you're hugging your knees in so tight, you can rock back a little bit and your heels come up off the mat. So this is your Bami position. You're curled up into a tight little ball. When you lift your feet, force yourself to find that balancing point, right? It engages the core. Now we're going to come from Bami to canoe, right? So you're here in this Bami position. You're going to go down to canoe. So you release your hands, right? Let your head and shoulders come down until they cover the mat. Take your legs out long to your heels over the mat. So I'm in a super low canoe here. The higher your feet go, the easier this becomes. So you find your canoe level, right? Your low canoe or your high canoe. And you got to pull it all the way back into Bami. So you come up, try to keep your feet off the ground, bring those knees all the way in, tuck your chin in, right? So it's not just here when we come up, right? We're here. We got to pull it all the way in. That's what makes the core work. All right, so we're going to do that 7 times. We're going to do it 8 times. So we're going to do it 7 more times, right? So we're in Bami, we go to canoe. Come to Bami, we're going to do it 6 more times. Bami, canoe, 5 more times. Canoe, Bami, really? 4 more times. 3 more times. Twice more. Last one. This time you come to your Bami, let your feet come down, and just take that regular release. All right, now take your arms out long here, tuck your chin to your chest, bring it all the way down. All right, this time we're gonna do the same thing, right? It's like our, it's the same as our knee pull-ins, but it's with a straight leg, so I call them the leg pull-ins. Right here, you're gonna lay down on your back. You're gonna take both feet straight up to the sky. All right, now, just like in the knee pull-ins, that left leg lowers till your heel hovers the mat. You're gonna take your hands somewhere around that right leg, lift your head and shoulders, bring the right knee towards your right nose. So you give it that little tug, tug, remember that sifter breath out through the mouth. And then as you inhale, you switch your legs. Inhale, switch. So we're just gonna keep going. Tug, tug, switch. Tug, tug, switch. Tug, tug, switch. Tug, tug, switch. Trying to get that opposite leg as low as you can, right, without hitting the ground. Trying to pull that up leg as close to your body as you can without bending the knee. All right, let's do 3 more on each side. Tug, tug, switch. Tug, tug, switch. Tug, tug, switch. Tug, switch. Last one. Tug, tug, switch. Tug, tug, and switch. All right, now let your head and shoulders come down. Bend your knees, drop your legs to the ground. Take your legs out long here, take your arms out long. Just take a nice full body stretch. Point your toes like they're the tip of a pencil. Pull your arms up overhead. All right, now from here, we're gonna roll to one side. And you're gonna come into your tabletop. All right, now this time from your tabletop, right? You're gonna get your shoulders over your wrists. Let me come a little bit sideways here. All right, I'm gonna start on the right side. So I'm turning my right side towards you. We're in this tabletop. Now, take your right leg, right? Keep your hands on the ground. Take your right leg, bring it into a fire hydrant. That just means you're lifting your right knee up. You look like a dog at the fire hydrant. That's what we call it that. Shoulders stay over the wrists. Left hip stays over the left knee. You just lifted that right knee up. Now, take your right knee, bring it forward, just touch it to your right elbow, right? And then from there, you're gonna extend that right leg back behind you. Take it back into fire hydrant, bring it forward, touch the elbow, kick it back long behind you. Do that 3 more times, right? Fire hydrant, tap the elbow, kick it long. Fire hydrant, tap the elbow, kick it long. 1 more time, fire hydrant, tap the elbow, take it long. Now you're coming back to fire hydrant here. This time as you get to your fire hydrant, start to circle that right knee forward, right? So you're just gonna make 3 big circles with your right knee without letting it touch the ground. And then as you get back to fire hydrant after the 3rd one, now take those circles to the back. 3 of those. All right, now you're back in fire hydrant. Kick that right leg all the way long, just like we did before, right? Take your hands a little bit wider here. So now they're wider than hip distance. So your shoulders are coming in. They're still even on this one straight line with your wrists, right? But they're not right over your wrists. They're more inside your body. Now, we're going to do some chin push-ups here. Your elbows bend. They go out to the sides. You take your chin down to the mat. Then push back up. Do that 4 more times. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, as you come back up, bring your hands back to hip width distance, or to shoulder width distance. Now, what we're gonna do from here, right? Still got that right leg behind you. Tuck your left toes under. Pick up your left knee. Kick your right leg to the sky. Like a one-legged down dog, right? Now bend into your right knee. Shift forward. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Curl that right knee right under your chest. Tuck your chin to your chest. If you can bring your nose to your knee, take it back up. Do that 2 more. Curl in, back to down dog. Curl in, back to that one-legged down dog. This time for your one-legged down dog, let that right foot drop to the ground, and then bend into your knees. Drop down to tabletop, let your feet flatten, shift back, child's pose. All right, so we're gonna do that whole sequence again, right? This time, we're gonna do it on the other side. So I'm gonna flip around just so you guys can see my left side. You can stay right where you are. You're coming up into your tabletop here. But this time, once you get your tabletop set up, take your left leg up into fire hydrant. So let your shoulders over the wrists, right hip over the right knee. Now just shift that left knee forward, touch it to your left elbow. Kick it long behind you, so it comes long behind you, your toes are facing the mat, right? Then you flip those toes out so you can bend it, bring it back to fire hydrant. So we're gonna do it 4 more times. Tap the elbow, kick the leg long, bring it back to fire hydrant. Tap the elbow, kick the leg long, bring it back to fire hydrant. 3 more, 2 more. Tap, long, fire hydrant. Last one. Tap, kick it long, kick it to fire hydrant. Now this time as you're in your fire hydrant with that left knee, you're gonna start to make those circles. So circle 3 times towards the front. As you finish the 3rd one, circle 3 times towards the back. As you finish that 3rd one, now you're pointing your toes towards the ground, right? Pushing your shoulders over your wrists. Take it to that final balance with your legs, with both hands on the ground. You're gonna take your hands a little bit wider. Let the shoulders come in. You're gonna bend your elbows out to the sides. Come down, touch your chin to the mat or as close as you can get. Push back up. Do that 4 more times. 4, 3, 2, last one. 1. Right now, come back, right? You're gonna bring your hands back to hip width. Tuck those right toes under. Kick your right knee up off the mat and kick your left leg up to the sky. Into a one-legged down dog. And now we gotta do those curls one more time. So you bend into your left knee. Shift forward, shoulders over the wrist, curl the knee into your chest. Kick it back up, one-legged dog. Just do that twice more. Curl the knee to the chest. Bend it back up. Last one. Curl it to the chest. Bend it back up. This time as you send it back up, drop that left foot down. Come back to your down dog. Drop your knees to the mat. Flatten out your feet. Shift back. Child's pose. All right, now we're coming up from our child's pose here. We're gonna come back into tabletop. And this time, as we come to tabletop, you're gonna let your hips go down to one side or the other. Swing your legs around in front of you, all right? So we're gonna do the last 2 exercises of our Fab 5, right? So you're laying down on your back again, right? So come all the way down to your back. The last 2 are the leg lowers and the bicycles, right? So we're gonna start with the leg lowers. You're taking your feet up to the sky, right? Flex your feet, and you're stepping on the ceiling, right? We're just like we're in waterfall right now. We're gonna come to at the end of class, you all know that, right? But when we come here now, you can make this little W with your hands, means your thumbs come together, and your fingertips are gonna point right towards the top of your mat here. If you want to, right, you take the W, right, you put your thumbs right under your low back, so your fingertips are pointed towards the front of your mat. Now this is gonna protect your low back as we lift our legs up and down, right? You don't have to do it now, I'm just showing you, right? And we go up and down, you're not gonna feel it in your back. And that's good, right? Because we don't wanna hurt the low back. We wanna protect the low back. And putting those thumbs there does that, right? But what I would rather have you do, if you can master this, is keep your hands at your sides, right? And then as your feet go down towards the mat, you're just feeling for that place where your low back picks up, and eventually you get to a place, see how I can slide my whole hand underneath my low back so my back is that arched, right? When you get to that place where you're really pulling into an arch, that's where you're gonna stop, and you'll just pull your feet back up, right? So for you, it might be here, right? You might only go an inch or 2 down and you're really arching out. That's okay, right? That's the space you wanna move it. Because if I let my feet keep going down long after my back is arched, right, then I'm not using my belly anymore, I'm using my back to do the work, right? And I wanna use my belly, that's what this exercise is about. You can hurt your back if you're straining it like that, making it do the work of lifting your legs up and down, right? It's a little too much for your back. So if you can't figure it out, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about feeling where that back arches, right? Then that's when you should use your thumbs, put them there, because then even if you go too low, you're gonna keep your low back protected, right? But try it a couple times, see if you can feel it, right? It's up to you. When we put the thumbs there, like I said, even when you go lower down than your arching point, you still are using your back. You're not getting any more out of it because you can go lower with your thumbs there, right? You still long since left your abs behind, but it does protect your low back a little bit more. Like I said, I'd rather if you could feel it in your own body, but if you're not sure if you are or not, then I'd rather have you use the thumbs and keep your low back protected, right? So you decide, right? You can make little Pilates V here with your legs, or you can keep your feet parallel, and that's up to you. What we're gonna do, you're gonna lower down to the count of 4, right? So I'm gonna count it. You're exhaling as you go down. Then we'll get to 4, we do 1 inhale, we pull them right back up. So if your range of motion is small, if you notice that you can't go more than an inch or 2 before your back arches, then you're just gonna work in that space. What does it mean? It means you have to go a lot slower, right? So we go down, 2, 3, 4, inhale, pull it back up. If your range of motion is bigger, you move faster. Down, 2, 3, 4, inhale, pull it back up, right? So you find your range of motion here. We're gonna do this 10 times, right? And I'm gonna count for you, right? So when you're ready, here we go. We're gonna go down, 2, 3, 4, inhale, pull it back up. Down, 2, 3, 4, inhale, pull it back up. Down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pull it back up. Down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pull it back up. 5 more. Down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pull it back up. Down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pull it back up. 3 more. Down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pull it back up. Down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pull it back up. Last one. Down, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, pull it back up. All right, now let your knees hug into your chest here. Take a little break. And then from there, we're going to come into our last one of the final 5. It's the bicycles, right? So you've got your knees over your hips, cast parallel to the ground. Now here, you're going to take your fingertips and bring them behind your neck, right? So your fingertips touch behind your neck. So your elbows are open, your chest is open. Both elbows are on the ground right now, right? So you're going to take your right leg, you're going to extend it all the way long. So your right heel's hovering the mat. Your left knee still at floating table. Your left leg is not going to move. Your left elbow is not going to move. It's going to stay peeled. It's going to stay to the ground. You're going to peel your right shoulder up. Reach your right shoulder towards your left knee. Now I'm not trying to reach with my right elbow flapping around. I'm not trying to pull my left knee in to touch them. Right? Just get that shoulder as close as you can as the knee. It's not going to touch, but you're going to feel it in those obliques, and that's what we're going for. Now you come back down. Let your right elbow come all the way to the ground. Let your head come to the ground. Pull that right knee in. Right to floating table, and then switch out your legs. So now you're taking the left leg long, letting it hover, keeping that right leg right in floating table. Keep your right elbow glued to the ground. Peel your left shoulder up. Bring it towards your right knee. Drop everything back down. Switch it out. Right, so that's the movement. Slow. It's controlled. We're not doing 100, right? We're just doing about 10. We can take them slow, and we can do them right. We got 5 more here. Three more. Last one. All right, now from here, let your arms go out to a T and take your feet straight up to the sky. All right, I'm gonna turn here so I have more space so you guys can see what's going on. But you should have your arms out to a T and the legs straight up to the sky. We're gonna work the obliques a little bit more. We're gonna do our windmills here, right? So, not windmills, pinwheels. Right? I can't remember. We might have done these. I don't know. Maybe it's been a while since we've done them. Maybe we did them last week. I don't remember. You guys probably do. You're like, wait, what are you talking about? We haven't done these in a while. We did them yesterday, right? That might be possible. I don't remember that well. But here's what it looks like when we do our pinwheels, right? We've got our arms long. We've got our feet up to the sky. Now you're going to drop your right leg. It's just going to drop straight open, right? So you're starting to drop that right foot towards the ground. Now somewhere, maybe halfway, maybe more, maybe less, your left leg is going to start to want to peel over, right, and follow the right. Let it come and follow the right. So eventually your right foot is going to come under my space all the way to the ground, right? And then your left foot is just going to stack on top of it. And your arms stay long, your shoulders stay into the ground. Now you start to pick your left leg up. It's going to come up, up, up somewhere. Maybe when it's at the midline of your body, maybe before, maybe after. Your right leg starts to pick up. Whenever your right leg starts to pick up, let that left leg come all the way over to the left. And then just stack the right leg on top. Pick the right leg up, comes across, left leg pick up when it wants to, legs all the way over to the right. So you're just going back and forth. So we call it a pinwheel. Legs are pinwheeling around in the wind. All right, so let's just do a few more each way. And the nice thing, because we're all in different places, right? We did this in the studio. We gotta make sure we all stay in sync. We don't start to kick each other. Here you can go at your own pace. Let's just do a couple more. Now, next time that you take your legs all the way over to the left, right? If your legs come all the way over to the left and you start to pick that right leg up, just stop that right leg in the center. Let the left leg come up to join it, right? And now you're gonna bend your knees, bring them to your chest. Take your hands to the crease of your knees. Do a couple rock and rolls here. That means we're gonna rock up. As you rock up, you're trying to keep your heels off the mat. And then you're gonna roll back down. Try to keep your head and shoulders up off the mat as you roll back down. So up and down. Exactly as you can see. So I'm not taking my head and shoulders to the mat. When I come up, I'm not taking my heels to the mat. If this is easy, lose your hands, right? Keep your hand away from the crease of your knees. Try to keep your belly and your thighs together as you come up and down. Right, just do a couple more here. And then as we come up the last time, you're gonna let your heels come to the ground. Right, now from here, we're gonna come into that shin box position. So we're gonna take our right shin across the mat, lean way over to the right. So you can get that right knee down to the mat, and then take your left knee right against the sole of your right foot, right? So I'm in the shin box on the right side. Now we're gonna do our mermaid lifts from here, then we're gonna stretch it out. So you're gonna take your right hand, bring it outside your right hip. Take your left hand up to the sky. Now you're gonna push into your right hand. You're gonna lean forward, push into both of your knees so that you can lift your hips up off the mat. As you lift your hips up off the mat, take your left hand and reach it toward the right side of the room. And then drop your hips all the way down, take your left hand, tap it outside your left ankle. All right, do that 5 more times. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so now you come down, you've got your left hand outside your left ankle. See if you can take both hands up to the sky. Right, keep your hands up to the sky. Just lean to the right a little bit so you can pick up your left foot and kick it into you. Pick up your right foot so you're in boat. Now we're going to go to that shin box on the left. So you're going to take your left foot across the right edge of your mat and then start to lean to the left so that your left knee comes down to the mat. Swing your right leg around. Put your right knee against the sole of your left foot. So maybe you just did that whole thing without taking your hands down. If you had to take your hands down, take them down, set it up, get in that left side shin box. We're going to do our mermaids here. So we just drop that left hand outside the left hip. Reach the right hand up to the sky. And press into your left hand. Press into both knees. Lift your hips. Reach your right fingertips up and over. Let your hips float down. Take your right hand. Tap it outside your right ankle. Come back up. All right, so do that 3 more times. 4 more times. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now as we come back down, right, we're gonna take our hands up to the sky. We're gonna try to get back to the right. So lean to the left. So you can kick that right leg in front of you. Bring that left leg up. Drop your right foot onto the left edge of your mat. Lean way over to the right so you can swing that left knee around, right? Maybe you got there, maybe not. Once if you didn't get there, with your hands off the mat, drop your hands to the mat, bring yourself to a right side shin box. From here, all we're gonna do, you're gonna drop your right hand down, right? This time you're gonna keep leaning. Maybe you can come all the way down to your right elbow. If that doesn't work, just stay on your palm. And then reach those left fingertips over towards the right side of the room, kind of spinning your chest up towards the ceiling. And then from there, right, you're gonna keep everything where it is, except your chest. You're gonna turn your chest towards your right forearm, right? So now your left fingertips are reaching, got these bolsters in the way, towards the right side of the room. Your left palm is open towards the back of your mat. Your left thumb is up to the sky. Now push away from the floor with your right hand, rise back up here. Now you're gonna take your left hand, bring it outside your left ankle, just like we did before, right? You're reaching over, kind of spiraling up, looking up underneath your right armpit. And then turn your chest towards your left shin. Reach your left palm across. Or right, I said left, I meant right. Right palm across. Right palm towards the back of the room. Right thumbs up to the sky. You're looking at your left shin. And you're going to rise up here. Take both arms back up overhead. Turn your palms towards the top of your mat. Drop both hands down now in front of your right shin and just walk yourself as far forward over your right shin as you can. Maybe you can get down to your elbows. Maybe you can all the way down to your chest and your head, right? Think about that right elbow, right shoulder. That's staying to the inside of your right knee, in between your right knee and your right ankle, right? I don't want you to twist over your right knee. I want you to go straight in front of your shin so you feel it in your right hip. Just take 3 breaths here. All right, now come back up to your palms, nice and slow. And we're gonna switch it out one more time. Come to the left. You can do it with your hands up to the sky if you want to again, or you can just drop your hands down and make it a little sloppier as you come around into your shin box on the left. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing here we did on the other side. Take your hands up, dropping that left hand down, and then see if you can come all the way down to your elbow. If that's not gonna happen, then just stay on your palm. So to reach that right hand up and over, kind of spinning your chest up towards the ceiling. And then from there, keep everything where it is, except take your chest to turn it towards your left forearm. And your right palm opens towards the back of your right thumb up to the sky. Push away from that left hand. Bring everything back up. Now drop your right hand outside your right ankle. Reach that left hand up and over, right? So right now you're kind of spinning your chest. You're looking underneath your left armpit. And then turn your chest toward your right shin. Right? Let that left arm come past your face. Left palm towards the back of the room. Left thumb up to the sky. All right, now we're gonna come all the way up, both arms up overhead. Turn your palms towards me. Drop your hands in front of your left shin and just walk it forward here as much as you can. Right, again, maybe you can come down to your elbows, maybe you gotta stay on your palm. Maybe it was all you can do, just get your palms to the ground, that's okay. Some of you can probably take your head down to the ground. I can't get quite that far. You wanna feel this in your left hip. Take a couple breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're gonna come back up. Now, as we come back up here, take your legs around in front of you. Right now, we're gonna lay down, do our final pose, our waterfall, or a leg at the wall, right? So you lay it all the way down on your back. I'm gonna come here first, right, so you guys can see. If I lay down on my back, and then I just put my feet up to the sky, soles of the feet towards the ceiling, right? Like you're gonna step on the ceiling. If you wanna do a full leg at the wall, and you have the wall space, what you do is bring your hip against the wall, okay? And then you're gonna swing your legs up the wall so you're laying down, and then you're gonna scooch forward because what you want is your glutes to touch the wall and all of your leg to be on the wall. And then you flex your feet again, like close your feet. Your legs at the wall, waterfall, and it feels better to you. Trying to get your feet above your head and your heart. Send the blood from your feet where it pools all day to get back to your head and your heart where you need it more. It's good for us, but it should also be relaxing. You'll feel good at the end of your Pilates session. Now, when we're ready to come out of it, you're just gonna bend your knees as if you're right. If you're just in the middle of your mat, bend your knees, let them scrape along your face and body. Drop your feet back down to the ground. If you're on the wall, bend your knees till your feet come against the wall, and then you're gonna roll over into a fetal position. And then from there, everybody's gonna push themselves up to seated. And that is our Pilates for today. Okay. All right,
That was hard, Paula.
what?
That was hard.
Hard. Yeah, that was a tough one in the middle there, but you guys all did what I could see. Right. So I'm going to post this one later today. The part that I did, it's all on there except the very beginning. Let me stop the recording now. And then